Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, as usual, Larry Cox. And it is great to have everyone here this evening. I'm going to say hello to folks in the chat and remind you what we like to do. We like for you to share, like the show, so that we can grow the audience a little bit here. We're not going to spend a long time on tonight's Easter Sunday. We're going to just do a little bit of housekeeping here this week because we're going to get ready for a busy April. Because April is going to be busy. We're going to have a lot of guests on here in April, so we'll talk about that in a minute also. But let me go ahead and say hello to some folks tonight. Charlotte Gellert, nice to have you. Judy Bond, great for you to be here. Cheryl Moulton, great for you to be here. Marie Weathers, great for you to have you tonight. George Killichek, the taxpayer, great to have you here tonight. Mary Boysworth, great for you to be here tonight. Jill Oden, great for you to be here tonight. Angela Asperino, great for you to be here. Cheryl and Ben Garcia, great to have you tonight. Yes, Mary, I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Justin Kinney's also going to be coming. I've already spoken once, so I'll let him do the main deal, and I'll do a light presentation with some Q&A. If that's okay with you guys tomorrow, and I think that'll be good. I was going to tell everybody I got several speaking engagements that I'm doing this week. Tomorrow evening, I'll be over at the Lake Capri HOA again, and then tomorrow morning at 8:30, I will be at the Premier Business Group, which Thomas Dean has from the Premier Floor. I will be at the Loretta's Kitchen over here off of 138 over beside Harbor Freight. So that will be a good speaking engagement. And then also I was invited to speak at the Republican Party's monthly meeting, and that will be Thursday, 6:30 at Amici's. So I got a little bit. Things are starting to ramp up a little bit, and then April the 13th we have our first candidates debate for the Board of Education, and that will be at Excel Church starting at 11 a.m. Saturday, April the 13th. So things are starting to heat up a little bit for the Board of Education candidates. We're going to get out there and be doing some things. So. Bring signs, and I'll see you across the river, Lake Capri. You got that, Judy Bond. I will bring the signs. I'll have signs in the truck, so that will be a good thing. So we'll do that. So William Campbell, great to have you on the show tonight. It's just great to be here. So I want to tell you guys something. So the Rockdale Voter decided to send out their endorsement list again because the Rockdale Voter had sent out several emails last week and had a lot of people asked to join the newsletter, and they didn't get those emails, so that they were sent back out. So we want to go ahead and go over that again in case some people have joined us that usually don't join us, and they may have joined us from the Rockdale Voters newsletter. So the Rockdale Voters sent that list out again this evening. They sent it out because they added. I was talking to Mr. Ken Holmes, and he told me that there were a request from 272 individuals to be added to the Rockdale Voters email list, and those are unsolicited. Those were 272 people who had been told by somebody about the Rockdale Voter. They went to the Rockdale Voter website and did the request to be added to the email list. So those are, and that was in like a 3-day time period. So those are fantastic numbers. It shows you Rockdale County citizens are paying attention to what's going on in Rockdale County. So, guys, that's just, you can't go wrong when you've got your citizens that are interested in what's going on in these local elections, and they're wanting to get information. They want candidate data. They want information. They want to know what's going on. And that is, to me, I think it's a great sign. It highlights the interest of people and what's going on. And I'll tell you what I personally think is going on. I just think the voters of Rockdale County are feeling tax fatigue. Uh, I mean, if you guys, in the chat, we had, what, last week's show, change just a second, I'll go back. Last week's show, I really loved last week's show because you guys were just so interactive um, in the audience last week, and just the questions and the comments, and we were just able to go back and forth with the conversation. I really like those kind of shows, and don't hesitate, and bring some points out, and I'll keep an eye on the chat, and we'll have a little conversation about everything and going on. And Mary, if you want to, in the chat, put the address and the time in the chat, then that way people will know what time. And when you do that, I'll actually put it on the screen also, so people can see that when you do that. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and type in the chat the address and the time that you're going to have the candidate forum, I will statement Q&A. I will we'll put that out here for the audience. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's go back down and recap. And we're going to recap that information from the Rockdale Voter about their endorsements. So let me go ahead and share that real quick. Put that up there. I hope you guys are seeing that now. You guys are seeing that, I'm assuming, and we will discuss it. So Mary's got that up there, 2670 Lake Capri. Do you guys, just somebody tell me, you guys see the endorsement page that I threw up there? Do you guys see all that? Just somebody let me know, make sure that I know I'm doing this right. I appreciate that. So now I'm going to go and look at this. So Board of Commission Chair, we have Ms. Janice Van Ness. Board of Commission Post 1, we have two individuals. We have Arlen Gibson and Tawana Smith. Board of Education Post 1, we have Mr. Larry Cox. Superior Court Judge, we have Clarence Cuthbert. And we have Angela Moore for State Representative District 90. Going to tell you guys why it is so important that we do Angela Moore. And Angela Moore supports the expansion of the districts of the county commission. If we get D. Dawkin Hagler will go along with Doreen Carter. They will 2-1 vote against Rhonda Taylor, and Rockdale County will not get an expansion of the Board of Commission. Those are the hard facts and reality. If Rockdale County wants to see the expansion of the Board of Commission, you must vote for Angela Moore, and that's the reality of it, guys. So I'm going to just leave that up there a second. Go for Board of Commission Chair, Miss Janice Van Ness. Board of Commission Post 1, we have Arlen Gibson or Tawana Smith. For Board of Education Post 1, Mr. Larry Cox. Superior Court Judge Clarence Cuthbert, and Miss Angela Moore for State Representative District 90. So we can't go wrong with that, guys. We've got to here in Rockdale County stand up, say that we want to make a difference, and look at these candidates. If you go to our website, you can go to the Rockdale Voter website, and you can look at those candidates. Look at that list. You can then go to their sites. They've got bios up there, and then you can go to their websites and look at that to what's going on. So, guys, it's going to be an interesting evening with what's going on, and guys, we just need to be able to say, hey, things have got to start rocking and rolling in Rockdale County, and we do that at the ballot box. We change that at the ballot box, guys. That's how we change it. We change it at the ballot box, and that's what we need to do. We need to change that at the ballot box so that you and I can reshape, reset, and change the projection of Rockdale County. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. So I went to a town hall that was had by Sherry Washington. She had the Conyers Economic Development Council there. She had the folks from the Atlanta Regional Commission. The Atlanta Regional Commission, I just want to talk about a few numbers that they put out there, which were very interesting. It backs up a lot of the things that I say when I talk about the county, the BOC, and the BOE, and the city as far as what they actually need to do and what they need to stop doing. So the Atlanta Regional Commission, they came out with some strong numbers that the fastest growing age group and the people who are moving to the metro area and specifically Rockdale County are 55 and over. The exact words that the individual used was, we have an aging population in the metro region. We have an aging population in Rockdale County, and when you build homes, you need to build the homes toward the demographic that are moving in. So if we've got 55 and older individuals that are the individuals moving into Rockdale County, then we need to build those homes so that they accommodate those 55 and older that are moving into Rockdale County. Townhomes and apartments are not accommodating for senior citizens. They're not accommodating because they have stairs in them. And I'm just going to tell you, I do, me personally, I'll be 60 years old in June. Do not look forward to climbing a set of stairs. And as we get older than that, they're less and less we enjoy climbing the stairs. So that's just the way it goes. So, we've got to actually look at what's going on in this region and build appropriately when we build, and not build when we don't need to build, because Vince Evans, the mayor, said, well, there's not any other place to build in the city of Conyers. We've built on every empty piece of land that we have, but yet the Conyers Economic Development Council is talking about, wanting to bring business in here. So if they have no room to build if they have no room to build any more townhomes or apartments, then where are they going to build large businesses? They are not. They are not going to build those large townhomes. I mean, those large businesses. So, guys, that's just what's going on. Charlotte, I'll get Ken to correct his typo again. Thank you for the look at that. At that for Angela's house district. I'll get him to correct his typo in that, and we'll move forward. So thank you for looking at. So Alex put something. I'm going to actually show this. Alex says, he and I have been doing shows for a long time. We've talked about it, and we've shown that the people who are running this county, they're not qualified and they're not competent. They're unqualified. They're simply just not qualified to actually make these decisions that they make. And you can tell by the decisions they make when you look at what the United States Census says about what the population growth is, what the Atlanta Regional Commission's projected population growth is. And you can see it's not a reality of what we're doing, folks. I talked to some board members about the school system, right? So we are down a couple in the last 5-6 years, down 2,000 enrollment, 2,000 enrollment, and that's just crazy. Yeah, Brian Jenkins has been bashing the Rockdale Voter. He's been bashing the Voices for Rockdale. Thank you, Lisa, for mentioning that. But they've been going to the website. They've been looking. Guys, it is just and I want to share some information because Kim was able to let me know that the Rockdale Voter was able to significantly increase their reach in the last week by also adding some emails to their list. So the Rockdale Voter was about 3,500 email list as of 2 weeks ago. Well, as of this past week, the Rockdale Voters email list has grown to over 13,500. So the Rockdale Voter has significantly increased their reach and their voice in Rockdale County, because, like I said, their reach was their email list was about 3,500 a couple weeks ago, but that email database now is over 13,500 people. So the Rockdale Voter has a massive reach now. It is a voice to be reckoned with, a voice to be reckoned with. When you have a 13,500 email reach, you are a voice to be reckoned with in this community. And I got it on good authority. Those are all registered voters. They are all, I mean, all those emails are people who have voted in a May election, at least the last 4 election cycles, 16, 18, 20, and 22. So that is a not only a good email database they have, but it's an email of active voters, and primary voters pay attention to what's going on in this county. So that's what's going on. Alex, that's a great point, right? So Alex just pointed out, that the age demographic we've pointed out to for years, it's aging, but the people who run in this county seem to think that this is a hip metro demographic or age group, and it is just not. It's not. Rockdale County, and one of the reasons, we'll talk about some numbers again. They talked about median household income. So they talked about what the median household income, and we talked, guys, do you know to rent a 2-3 bedroom house in Rockdale County now is $1,800 to $2,000. $1,800 to $2,000 to rent a 2 to 3 bedroom home in Rockdale County. So when we're talking about the age demographic or age group that would be having kids in school, be 20 to 45 years old. They may not, especially that lower, that 20 to 35 age group, they're probably below the median income. And actually, what the Atlanta Regional Commission statistics showed were that the people who were the incomes that they were at were not able to afford the median household cost in Rockdale County. That people who were making the median income, well, I think they said it was $72,000 was the median income now. They do not make enough money to afford housing in Rockdale County. So if your median income can't afford the housing, then people with children are definitely not going to relocate to Rockdale County. And guys, we've shown in the last 4 to 5 years, Rockdale County school system has gone from around 17,000 students to like 15,000. So I think I looked at the 120-day enrollment for Rockdale County schools, and it was like 15,100 and something. When they started the school year, it was like 15,600 something. And I think they're down 530 students from day 1 to day 120. And that's not, with, people moving in and out of the district, with kids dropping out of school, that happens. So we're down to around 15,100 kids enrolled in Rockdale County school system now, when a few years ago it was like 17,000. So we've lost a couple of thousand kids for enrollment. So and the budget continues to increase. Continue to put additional staffing in the central office. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous on what's going on in Rockdale County with the education system. So I want to share something. I'm going to share a PowerPoint that the superintendent shared with people this past week. So I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to talk as I do. So let me do this, enlarge that. So that what this PowerPoint shows everyone is this. It shows Okay, you guys just, if you bear along with me. So what it shows is you got it shows false information. It says only 23% of elementary students tested at above level for reading. He's got over here the truth, 58% at or above. So in the through K through 5, there are 6,141 students. So he's saying 58% read at level. So if we take that number, that's 3,562 kids that are reading at level. But that also means that 42% are reading below level. That is 2,579. So that educators don't like to throw numbers on these kind of things. 2,579. 2,579. Isn't that interesting? 2,579. That is just crazy. That is just crazy, guys. So there's also some additional numbers I want to share with you guys, right? So we're going to talk about um, the next thing. He talked about math scores. He said that the false number was 15%. The true number was that 49% of elementary school students were reading, were doing math at or above level. But that also means 51% of the students are doing math below level. So what are those numbers? We have 3,132 kids below level, and you have 3,009 kids at level. So you have 3,132 kids below level. That's more than half, 51%. Let's put it, if you have 100 kids and you put 51 of them on one side of the room and 49 on the other, those 51 are deficient. They are not performing. That's the reality of it. Then let's look at the middle school. So at the middle school level, he says that 66% are above or at reading level. So that means that 34% are below. In the middle schools, we have 4,081 students. So that means we have 2,693 at level, and we have 1,224 kids who are not reading at level. So if, again, you take the 100 kids, 66 of them on one side of the room, they're reading at or above level. But 34 out of that 100 are below level. But the staggering 1,224 of the 4,081 kids are not reading at level. Let's look at the math scores. So the math scores for middle school is 47, 40. I did it at 48%, 47.99. 48% are above or at level. That's 1,958. But 52% of the kids in middle school are below level in mathematics. That means 2,122 kids are not at level for mathematics. Let's look at the high school. So he touts 59% of the high school students are at level reading. That's 2,057. There are 3,488 total high school students. Now that's 41% below level. So that means 1,430 are reading below level. So if, again, we do the same scenario, we take the 100 kids, 59 of them on one side of the room are reading at level, 41 are not. That's not good numbers. Let's look at the math. So 37% of the kids in the high school are at or above the coordinate algebra level. That's of the 3,488, that's 1,290 at level. But that's 2,197 kids in high school who are below average in math. Let's put that the way I like to do with the 100. If we take the 100 students and we put 37 of them to the right, those 37 are at level in math. And we put 63 on the other side. Those students are not performing in math. So, guys, we've got some major issues, guys. So we look at this, and it's and these are the good numbers that that the superintendent is touting, right? He's touting those as excellent numbers. So guys, this is ridiculous. When we look at what this school system is doing, it's quantified to algebra. Yeah, quantified to algebra. But guys, this is ridiculous. And I'd say there's a reason he quantified it to algebra, Charlotte, because the other numbers were probably worse. This superintendent, as said by a member of the Board of Education a few weeks ago in one of the meetings, he cherry picks the numbers to make it look as best as he can. So those percentages come from the Georgia State Department of Education. So those were actually on his listed as his source. Jill, they were source Georgia Department of Education is what his source was. Georgia Department of Education. So so guys, those are terrible numbers. And in Jill, algebra is the measured course for high school. So guys, I mean, that's just terrible. Those are not good numbers. So let's just talk about the numbers for a minute, right? So if those are the numbers, then we've got kids graduating from high school who are deficient in math, they're deficient in reading. And those are and these kids that are below average in math and in reading are struggling in the classroom. They are struggling in the classroom. That's just, they said 87%, Angela, but if you go look at the county website only says 84%. So he's actually contradicting some of his own numbers. I mean, county website says the graduation rate is 84%, but he came up with an 87%. So he's actually contradicting some of his own data on the county website when they talk about that. So it's interesting, which of his numbers are accurate. Is it the 87 or the 84? And I want to go back to something Mr. Kelichek put up there about the rent. It's $1,800 to $2,100 and does not include power, water, sewer, food, car payments, or car insurance. That's correct. It does not include all that. So, guys, when we look at this, Rockdale County is we have a declining enrollment. When I'm elected to the Board of Education, there's a word that I'm going to have to start talking about after I get good and grounded. And that good and grounded word is going to be consolidation. If Rockdale County continues to lose enrollment at the rate that we are seriously going to have to consider consolidating schools. And is that a bad thing? Let me tell you, I come from a community when I was going to school in that community, they had 7 high schools. Now they have 3. They have 3 high schools in that county now, but they had 7 at that one time. But the same thing sort of was there. It's a similar story. Aging population. People weren't moving in with kids. Older people were moving into the county, the community. The enrollment started dropping. You had schools begin to be half full, 3/4 full, and it was a trend, and they kept going down. So we really need to look at what that looks like in Rockdale County, and at some point, you have to realistically look at what that means. And we talk about with the aging population, with the number of people being 55 and older, and we look at the tax base. One of the other things that the Atlanta Regional Commission brought up, and the Conroe Economic Development Authority, is they brought up the ratio of commercial taxed properties versus residential tax property. George, and you may have those numbers, and I'm going to I didn't bring that document home with me, but I think it was 62% in Rockdale County are commercial, 38% residential. And the ladies at the Atlanta Regional Commission said that was sort of flip-flop for the rest of the metro counties. The rest of the metro counties would have 60-some% commercial, 30-some% residential. Well, when you've got 62% residential, 38% commercial properties, and you're taxing uh, what we're taxing at and what rate we're doing, that's not a sustainable model at the rates we're taxing people. Because if you start taxing people out of their homes and they lose their homes or they have to sell their homes, then we also got to look back at what we just saw, the 18 to $2,100 a month rent, and we saw the median income in Rockdale County can't afford $1,800 to $2,100 rent. So you develop you're taxing yourself into a problem. The city, the county, and the Board of Education are taxing themselves into a problem. What we have to do is we need to run some numbers. We need to see what can these seniors, what can the residential property owners of Rockdale County actually continue to pay in property taxes and maintain ownership, home ownership. That's a reality that we're going to have to actually look at. And it's a conversation that all three of these silos are going to have because we're getting to that point at this time that this needs to be a serious conversation, a very serious conversation, because I do believe we need to at some point start exempting seniors from property tax. I personally think you can't do 100% exemption at 55. You can't even do 100% at 65 and think that we're going to have, because of the way of the makeup of the county is. I think you could at age 65 start reducing the amount that seniors pay and have them totally out of the tax system at between 70 and 72. You have to run the numbers, see what it looks like. Average life expectancy of a Georgia resident is 76 point something years, 77 years. So they would be off the tax rolls for about average of 5 years, and then those properties would cycle back on the tax rolls. So we've got to think about this, and it's going to have to be a compromise, and it's going to have to be something that everybody can live with. Not because government just can't keep raising taxes and think this is going to be better or sustainable. It's not going to be better, and it's definitely not sustainable. And those are the cold hard facts. And when we look at this, we do not have a sustainable tax model in Rockdale County. It's not sustainable for the future, especially when we see what the census says and the Atlanta Regional Commission verifies that this is going to happen. Uh, this is just crazy. It's just ridiculous. So, guys, we're going to have to make changes in Rockdale County as far as the three government entities that we have: the Board of Education, the Board of Commission, and the City of Conyers, where they're going to have to do some soul searching and look, what do we need to actually do? Because we got to remember, guys, second smallest landmass county in the state of Georgia. The mayor of the City of Conyers has already said, we've built everywhere there is to build. There's nowhere left to build. Now, you got to remember also, those areas that you had in the City of Conyers are the areas that business would probably come, because you have the sewer capacities there. So as when you get out 5 miles or so outside of any direction of I-20, then you're looking at them going on septic, and it's not practical to put these large businesses that you guys want to bring in here on septic. Not practical at all. Cheryl Moulton, we want a bedroom community. If we want a bedroom community, we're going to have to start electing people that want a bedroom community. That even means Board of Education members, because I've talked to several Board of Education. Well, education is expensive, and we're going to have to raise taxes, and we can't exempt. You're going to have to ask Board of Education, do you think seniors need an exemption? And if that Board of Education member says no, then you probably don't need to vote for them. That's just reality. If your Board of Commissioner says no, you don't need to vote for them. If your city council members or your mayor says we don't believe seniors should have exemptions, or we need to watch how we're taxing, then you probably don't need to vote for them. If you want this to be a bedroom community, then you have to elect officials that have your philosophy and your vision. It is very clear. Chairman Oz Nesbitt does not have the vision of Rockdale County being a bedroom community. He has even said this statement: this is not Mayberry anymore. I don't have a problem with it being Mayberry. Do you guys have a problem with it being Mayberry? I do not. It's one of the things that drew me to this county. It drew me here that it was this small, quaint county just right outside of Atlanta. That I was far enough away, that I was away from the bright lights in the big city, but I was close enough that if I wanted to go into that environment, I could. And that's what they are doing. They're taking the nuance away of Rockdale County. Rockdale County can't compete with the Claytons and the Henrys and the DeKalbs and the Cobbs. We just can't compete with those counties because we don't have a 500,000 residents. We don't have a million residents like a Gwinnett County. We have under 100,000, and we didn't grow as fast as because if you would have listened to the hype 6 years ago, they'd say we'll be above 100,000 now. We're not above 100,000 now because we're not getting that growth that they said we're going to get. And they're not putting people in those townhomes and apartments. They're staying vacant and empty. People aren't renting them. And why aren't they renting it and purchase them? Because the median income of people that live here can't afford those homes. When they do get people to buy them, it's going to people move from another place here, and they're going to be 55 years and older, and they're not going to have children. That's the reality of what we have in Rockdale County. Those are our realities, and that's what we have. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I am going to do a little housekeeping, talk about a few things that's coming up. So next week, what we got going on is we're going to have the Honorable Judge Clarence Cuthbert. And I'm still going to call him the Honorable Judge Clarence Cuthbert. It'll be this week. It'll be capital WEEK, Lisa. It won't be WEEK. It'll be all capitals in week. Because Ken's killed me with that too, putting it on the Rockdale Voter. So you've got to go to this THIS capital T. Week is all capitals. From is a capital F, and then Rockdale is a capital R. So that would be why. So if you would look at it that way, and then hopefully you can find it. So, but guys, we have got to move forward in Rockdale County. We've got to do this. So what we're going to have next week is we are going to have the Honorable Judge Clarence Cuthbert, April the 7th. We are going to have Tanae Davis, April 14th. We are going to have Larry Cox, April the 21st, with show host Danielle Munoz. And on April the 28th, we will have Arlen Gibson running for Post 1 Commissioner on April the 28th. So that will be our lineup. I will be putting this out on Facebook. The Rockdale Voter has generously agreed to actually promote the shows to their 13,500 email list so that we can grow this audience, and we can, and then guys, why don't you do something? Why don't you tell your friends to watch this show? Tell your friends to watch this show. And I'm going to actually type this on there. So I'm going to tell you guys, this has been difficult. If you guys don't remember, at the first of the year, I got hacked. And when I got hacked, I lost all my Facebook pages. So I had to create a new personal page. I had to create a new This Week from Rockdale page, and I had to do the spelling a little different because the other page still exists, but they deleted my personal account. And when they did that, I was not able to gain access back to the original This Week from Rockdale page. So I had to start from zero. And I thank you guys for actually working with me. And it's still a little confusing. People will go to the wrong page, but I thank each of you doing that, helping me out and growing the new page. Because we are having good numbers. We're having good viewership. Like I said, we average mid-20s, 30-some people on the live cast, but the video version, blowing the socks off of it, folks. People are going and watching that video version, and they're going and visiting the This Week from Rockdale Facebook page, and they are, so we are just blowing the socks off of it that way. So Thank everybody. Again, I want to go over that lineup. April the 7th, next Sunday, Judge Clarence Cuthbert. April the 14th, Tanae Davis running for school board. April the 21st, Larry Cox with a special show host, Danielle Munoz. And then April 28th, Arlen Gibson, Post 1 Commission, Rockdale County. Guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you next week. And let's reset Rockdale. Let's ask these people tough questions. Ask them, do you support senior exemptions? Do you support finding out what actually the tax burden is that the taxpayers can actually afford and do that? I did want to say, guys, they passed the PFA bonding thing this week, and the chairman said, you naysayers, and non-believers and whatever, this investment, it is what it is, and they're going forward for it. But, just remember, 70% of you said no, and this chairman didn't listen to you. Does he deserve your vote? I say no. I say no. 70% of the Rockdale voters voted no to the $140 million plus courthouse, which will be over $200 million. You said no. He said yes. Thank you and good night, everyone. Let's reset Rockdale.